Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, is escalating her public feud with the president. She's also urging Democrats to be cautious about trying to impeach him. Calls to begin impeachment proceedings have grown, though, as the White House continues to stonewall congressional investigations into the president. But Democrats running for president in 2020, they're kind of split on the issue as they try to win over primary voters and prepare for a possible showdown with President Trump. So CBSN political contributor Sean Sullivan is joining us now from Washington to talk a little bit about this. So listen, Sean, some Democrats like Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, they support impeachment, but many candidates are sort of staying. It's a little too early right now. What are they kind of considering when deciding where they're going to land on the impeachment debate?
Well, there's a couple of things happening when you look at this 2020 Democratic field right now. The first thing is that we're seeing something similar happening there to what we're seeing in the House with Democrats, which is more and more these candidates are edging toward saying that they favor impeachment, whereas a month or so ago, most of them were not calling for this, and they were not opening the door to this. Of course, there have been some, like Elizabeth Warren, who have been pretty outspoken about impeachment. But when you look at the Democratic candidates who don't want to walk down this road, their argument is, look, if we focus on this issue, if we focus on going after the president, then we won't be able to draw the contrast we want to draw with him on policies, on health care, on the economy, on education, on these other so-called kitchen table issues that Democrats felt they ran on successfully in 2018. They feel like this would be a distraction. But more and more what we're seeing from the Democratic base, and what I'm hearing when I go out in the campaign trail covering some of these events, is that Democrats want the House Democratic leadership to use the power that they won in 2018 to hold Trump accountable, particularly as his administration continues to stonewall a lot of these subpoena requests that House Democrats are putting forward, a lot of these document requests. So as the White House pushes back more and more, the pressure is getting higher and higher, not only on Pelosi, but on these 2020 Democratic candidates to say, hey, the time for impeachment is now. And I think we're starting to see that a little bit more in the last few days.
And then you look at the far-and-away frontrunner, Joe Biden. He stayed pretty quiet on impeachment, though unlike a lot of the other candidates, he's sort of put himself in the position of saying, of all the candidates, I'm the one that could beat Donald Trump. He's sort of leading with that as a reason to vote for him. Is this a tough line for him to walk?
It's a very difficult line, and he's definitely worth watching in the coming days and weeks in terms of looking at where the Democratic Party is on this issue. His message has been from day one of his campaign that he is somebody who can appeal not just to the Democratic base, but somebody who can appeal to centrists, somebody who can appeal to Trump voters, somebody who can appeal to middle-of-the-road voters. And I think that's why we've seen at least so far, he has been reluctant to embrace impeachment the way that we've seen some of these other candidates embrace it. But a potential problem and challenge for Joe Biden is how will the liberal base react to him? How will Democrats on the left wing of the Democratic Party react to him? And if more and more candidates are coming out and talking about impeachment, and Joe Biden is staying silent, that could be a potential liability for him in this primary. So it is certainly a difficult political line for him to walk, given the kind of campaign that he's trying to run and the brand that he's trying to emphasize right now. But the pressure seems to only be going up on these Democrats to call for impeachment, which is going to make things difficult for Joe Biden.
So I want to ask you about something else. You always hear that it's the kitchen table issues that voters really do care about. So now we have several candidates speaking out in support of striking McDonald's workers that are demanding an improved minimum wage, at least a $15 minimum wage. Is this shaping up to be a campaign issue, do you think?
Yeah, it is shaping up to be a campaign issue. And a lot of these Democratic candidates are trying to position themselves as the champion of workers, as champions of the middle class. They're trying to draw a contrast with Trump and the Republicans, and they're trying to draw a contrast with each other right now. And we're seeing this play out all across the landscape in the Democratic primary. You're seeing Bernie Sanders in his campaign actually form a union and unionize its campaign employees. So you're seeing these Democratic candidates more than ever express solidarity with workers. You're hearing more than ever about the need to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. These are issues that in past elections you just didn't hear Democrats talk about nearly as much. But this has become a focal point in this race, and it shows that Democrats believe that to win this primary, to win the nomination, they're going to have to convince their electorate that they are champions of workers, of middle-class families, and not on the side of wealthy Americans and wealthy corporations, because they're trying to portray Trump and the Republicans as favoring them.
All right. That makes sense. Sean, thank you so much.
Thanks very much.